Features of socialization. It is a process of learning group norms, habits, and ideals. The important factor in this process of learning are imitation. It is copying the acts of others. It could be conscious or unconscious, spontaneous or deliberate. It is an important factor in socialization. Through this, the child learns social behavior patterns. Children have great capacity to imitate and they often do it indiscriminately. Suggestion. Suggestion is a process of communication in which the suggested idea is accepted without logical grounds. A child lacks the ability to think and reason, hence, he is highly suggestible. Identification. In the very early stage, a child cannot make any distinction between himself and his environment. Identification. Between himself and his environment, most of his initial reactions are just natural and spontaneous. As he grows older, he learns to identify through which he satisfies his needs. For instance, the legs with which he plays, the mother who feeds him, the brothers or sisters who play with him are all identified. The areas of identification increase with the age. Language is a medium of expression. In the beginning, the child utters meaningless sounds, but gradually the skill of language is acquired. Thus, in the process of learning, language is important. Phases of socialization, primary and secondary. Primary socialization takes place in infancy and childhood. This is the most crucial stage of socialization as the basic behavior pattern is learned by the child at this stage. The child internalizes many of the socially approved values, attitudes, beliefs, and behavior pattern of this culture. It consists of three substages, that is the at the oral, the anal, and then the oedipal. In anal, the infant builds up definite expectations about feeding time and learns to signal his or her pressing needs for care. Anal begins more or less after a year of infancy. The child at this stage is trained to take over some degree of care for himself, such as toilet training. The Oedipal roughly begins from the fourth year and goes up to puberty. This is a period when child becomes a member of the family as a whole. All the roles in the family prescribed according to sex are internalized by the child. The child identifies himself with the social roles. Secondary socialization starts from the later stage of childhood and goes up to maturity. Socialization is a continuous process which takes place throughout the life of an individual. Then we have anticipatory socialization. It is a kind of learning which describes person's future roles. This that is anticipatory socialization occurs when people anticipate their own participation in a situation, imagining how others would feel, think and behave. Anticipatory socialization makes the individual accept his or her own participation in a social situation by watching how others would behave in that situation. And we have developmental. As an individual grows, he changes and molds himself according to the standards and the needs of the society He identifies himself within the society, values, norms, way of life, instincts, etc. And these traits continue to be imbibed in him. Resocialization. It is a process by which one's sense of social values, beliefs, and norms are re engineered. It's a kind of learning which involves a learning of new ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving that are completely different from one's previous way of life. For example, resocialization occurs when one converts into a different religion or joins army or is put in a prison. Then we have agencies of socialization. The process of socialization is operative throughout the life. It is a process begins at birth and continues till the death of an individual. It is a continuous process. Okay, is the important matter for society